Hello viewers, Chief here again. What we're going to do today is the third instalment of folding and unfolding a piece of A4 paper in groups of 10. This will be the 21st to the 30th time that we're going to fold it. Here's that original piece of paper that I tried to keep in the same condition. It's been sitting in the cupboard with an armed guard in front of it so nobody can get to it. That's what it looks like after it's been folded and unfolded 20 times. I'll show you a little shot just before we start folding, and you'll be able to see more clearly all the holes and the little cracks and imperfections and weak points on there when I hold it up to a sunlit window, and you can see the sunlight coming through, but I'll show you that in just a moment. And then we'll fold it and unfold it another 10 times. We'll examine it each time and then compare that to a brand new sheet of A4 paper, and we'll see if it can last the distance. And here we have our piece of A4 paper that's been folded and unfolded 20 times. As you can see by all the little bright white spots on the paper, that's where all the holes are, and that's a condition that sheet's in. We're going to fold it another 10 times and see if we can put some more holes in it and how it fares. Okay, here we have the first fold of this third series. Well, this is the 21st time this has been folded. We're going to, I've just ripped it a little bit more. I think the structural integrity of the paper is really waning at this point. I don't think I can get it much flatter than that. We'll see if we can do a side profile on it. See, it doesn't sit very flat at all. Just continuing on all the imperfections and high and low points in the paper from the first two series. If you haven't seen the first two series, you can hit your pause button, which should be down here somewhere. And you can go back and watch the first two videos and see what it's all about, and then come back to this one if you want some continuity. If not, you should be able to get the idea of what we're doing here. Yeah, it seems to be in about the same condition as the last fold, but we'll pause it and give it another go for number 22. Okay, here's the 22nd fold, and it's really starting to grab now. It's becoming a bit grippy, whereas the brand new sheet of A4 paper seemed a bit shiny and a bit smooth. This feels a lot like sandpaper or a dry sponge. It's got a lot of grip to it. Maybe that's because all the shininess has gone from the paper, and it feels more like paper towel than a sheet of normal shiny A4 paper. And we can see a lot more holes developing in there. I don't know if you can see those little dust bits floating around in the background there, but that's probably just the fibres from the paper deteriorating, and it's really starting to look quite ragged. So we'll give it fold number 23 and see what happens. Okay, here's fold number 23, and again it still feels quite grippy. The paper doesn't seem to be sitting very flat. I'll try a quick side profile on that. Wish I had a better camera, I might get some more focus in it. Yeah, so there we go. We'll give it fold number 24 and see how that one compares. Okay, here's number 24, and I can feel a little bit rip off the paper here. There's a lot of these little dust particles in the background. You probably can't see them very clearly, but I'm breathing a lot of them in, and I hope that it doesn't make me sick. So there we go. Seems this corner piece is ripped off finally, but it's broken through, and I can see a lot of the smaller holes are starting to become bigger holes, and some of the bigger holes are joining together, and I can see this ripping in half at some stage, and that's certainly not sitting very flat at all. So we'll give it another fold and have a quick look. Okay, I hope I haven't lost count. Here's fold number 25. And we'll open it up, and it doesn't sit very flat at all, and it doesn't really seem to want to unfold, and it's starting to take on a more of a compacted arrangement there. I probably could flatten it out, but it would certainly rip a lot of the holes that's there, so I don't want to push my luck. We'll give it fold number 26 and have another quick look. Okay, we've got fold number 26 out of the way, and I'll just try to unfold it. What I actually did do just off camera a few seconds ago is give the paper a smell to see if it has any odour to it, and for some strange reason, or it might just be me, it smells a little bit like fresh almonds, the nuts. I don't know whether it's because it's the type of paper, it's the oils or whatever is seeping off my fingers, or it's something that was left on the bench, but maybe it's just the way the fibres smell, and that's my interpretation of it. So there we go, there's 26 folds. We'll try and do the side profile there. There's little bits and pieces hanging off it everywhere. I think I'll get to 30 quite easily, and it might more or less be in one piece. So we'll have a look how fold number 27 fares. Okay, let's have a look at fold number 27, and oh gee whiz, it really is sticking together. It's like a piece of glued paper with glue on it. And here we go. Oh, there you go. 27 times this piece of paper has been folded and unfolded, and you can still see quite clearly the red dot that was there as a focal point. I don't know where the black dot's gone. That's probably deteriorated or rubbed off. Oh no, there it is on the edge there. So there we have it. Let's try and get a bit of a side profile there. That's 27 times. Let's see if we can do the last three and see how that fares. Okay, here we have number 28, and there's little bits and pieces falling off all over the bench, like these little pieces here. I think that's just going to be collateral damage. I'll just push them to the side there. But this is, I think it's only broken in half. That's about as good as I can do it. If you think that looks like a piece of paper, well, I think you've got a more liberal interpretation than I have. To me it looks like a bit of pulp, but it certainly doesn't look like paper at all, and it doesn't look in very good condition. But that's 28 times that this piece of paper has been folded and unfolded. We'll see if we get to 2 more folds and unfolds and see if it can more or less stay in one piece. Here's living proof I can't count. This is the 29th fold. I really should write these things down. And if I attempt to unfold this any more than I'm doing now, it's going to break into a lot of small pieces in my hand. But you can see that those little holes are now become big holes. I think that's about as best I can do. So there we have a piece of A4 paper, folded and unfolded 29 times. We can still see the red dot there. There's the remnants of the black dot, but you know, the ink has stained the paper, so it's still in pretty good nick, but it doesn't really look like a piece of paper anymore, does it? Sort of, to me, I would say that looks like an old mop head with all the strings of the mop all clumped together with a red cherry in the middle. So we'll give it the 30th fold and see what condition that is in. And here we have fold number 30, and there is not a whole lot of this piece of paper left. So I wouldn't bank on using this to write any notes down. I don't know if you can see all these little broken bits that have come off there. I'll just push them to the side. All these little bits and pieces there. And, well, I'm very surprised the red dot and the black dot that we use as a focal point and for scale. No, I don't think I can unfold this very easily. So there you have it. There is a piece of A4 paper that's been folded and unfolded 30 times. And I'm not even going to attempt to do 31. I might do just for posterity. I'll flip a coin afterwards. It doesn't look like there's a whole lot of that left. What I'll do on this next little clip of a few seconds, we'll compare that to an original piece of unfolded paper and see what it's like. But there you have it. A4 paper that's been folded and unfolded 30 times. It's surprisingly intact, but it's not very structurally strong. But there we have it. We'll compare that and we'll be back in a moment. Okay, welcome back. I couldn't help myself. I did it the 31st time to get an extra one for the road, and as you can see all these little bits and pieces that have broken off the original piece of paper, I'll just push them to the side. So here we have our original sheet of A4 paper, and it's really died now. I think that's it. That 31st fold finished it off. So there we have it. That's what's left of one sheet of original condition, pristine, unmarked A4 paper with a couple of coloured dots there for scale, and it is well and truly died. So what I'll do is I'll slide in a piece of original A4 paper, see if we can compare the two from a bit of a distance. It's lost a lot of shape and a lot of size. I'll try and get this camera down and pop this test sheet over the top of it. Try to lay it out as flat as I can. No, it's all twisted together like a twisted piece of string. I'll try to get all these little bits in here as well that have fallen off on the side, all these little bits and pieces here, and we'll try and pick the camera up. Have a look from the top. This is my anti-slip device. And there we have it. That's how much shape is retained after folding and unfolding a piece of A4 paper 31 times. And it loses a lot of size and shape from the edges. I'd say that's about easily a third of the size of the original sheet, and I'm very surprised at that. The fibres there are still fairly strong, but that's what's left, so it's not good nick. So if you want to reuse a piece of paper to write yourself a note, probably 3 or 4 times you can use one sheet, but as you can see, it doesn't last many more times than that. I hope you've enjoyed this little series. I think this paper's dead now. If you would like to see some more, leave some comments for me, and please hit the like and subscribe button. It's totally free, and I enjoy bringing you videos, and I'll bring some more to you soon. Thank you for watching.